beginning of the video, and today it is the start of our spooky something, whatever, the little horror video stuff. I still ain't found a name for the stuff. I gotta come up with a name. Today we're gonna be reacting to 52 sentence horror stories from Reddit. Now, if you don't know what a 2 sentence horror story is, it is a story that you tell. Basically, it's self-explainable. You tell a story in 2 sentences, and some of them I've seen some, and some be creepy. So we're gonna go ahead and check it out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, see what I got going on. You see, I got it dark up in here because we gotta add to the atmosphere that this is spooky. So ain't no lights. Only thing is a flashlight because I'm black, and if I turn off this light, y'all can't see me. So yeah, if this is your first time seeing me, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. You know what I'm saying? Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video because I'm finna hit that play button. Oh, well, I'm finna hit that spooky play button. You should have did that. I'm gonna hit it like this. Bow. I go get shot some snacks. I ain't got nothing right now.
Good evening and welcome. Tonight we have our 10th episode of 52 sentence horror stories from Reddit and you guys in the comments. So please be sure to post below for a chance to have yours in the next episode. And if you guys enjoy this as much as you have previous episodes, then at 10k we shall prepare a special 100 2 sentence horror story video for you all. With that said, let's begin. I paid the rent, my car note, insurance and my student loan payment. I just wish I had enough left for my insulin. I was relieved when I finally found my lost phone between the couch cushions. Then I opened the camera roll and saw the hundreds of pictures taken of me sleeping last night. Being homeless, I thought my situation couldn't get any worse. Now I've even lost my pet dog thanks to those animal activists. "Where is the baby?" asked the babysitter upon entering the bedroom. "You mean the baby we're about to make?" the husband answered as he shut the door.
Oh.
At first, I was so relieved to have survived the plane crash and make it to the deserted island with the other survivors. And then I realized that I was the only woman. I saw a thread coming off my band-aid, so I tried to pull it off. I learned the hard way what an exposed nerve looks like. After sex, I always feel guilty. It's difficult to continue the autopsy afterwards. I have to remind myself that I'm the only veterinarian in the city. She always had a knack for talking people off the ledge. Too bad it was always the wrong side. He loved hearing the voice of his wife through the baby monitor, singing softly to their newborn. However, his mood turned to disturbed as he turned over to find his wife sleeping soundly next to him.
Oh no, that wasn't his wife.
"Hi Dad," I hear from the back seat after getting into the car. I got back out, realising I'd have to leave him in the sun for a bit longer. After having a baby, a woman can struggle to get wet, so you may need to use some lube. And since she also died in childbirth, I'd say I definitely need some.
Oh no.
I walked into my daughter's room to find her sobbing as her Facebook post only got 3 likes. I reminded her she needs to get at least 5 to get her insulin. One year my family insisted we enter the corn maze. I think it's been about 16 years now and I still have not found the exit. I went to hug my husband, and that's when I saw him at the end of the bed holding a shotgun. I spent $250,000 on a submarine trip to the Titanic. We quickly realised we were getting a full experience.
Oh,
I screamed in agony as they tore the flesh from my body, before slicing me into pieces and dumping me into boiling water. I was reincarnated a day later and felt like weeping as I once again came back as a potato. It's been 7 months since you passed and I keep seeing you out the corner of my eye. The gunshot I put in you and all. As I finished moving the last box out of the apartment, I went back in to make sure I had not missed anything. The floor warped slightly before collapsing beneath me, and the last thing I heard was the crunch of my body impacting the floor of the apartment below. I love taking long walks with my boyfriend at night. He says cute and romantic things like, "Who's there?" and "I think someone's following me."
Oh, you a ghost.
My cat made this cute little squeak when she was sleeping. I froze in horror as I heard it get louder from her urn. I sold my car and house to pay your $500,000 ransom. Now let me speak to my wife. The sound of my wife's laughter was the last thing I heard before the line was cut.
Oh, she scammed you, cuz.
I saw the body swaying in the trees as I walked through the suicide forest. As a branch scooped me up by my neck and pulled me up, I realised too late how wrongly named the forest was. I bawled my eyes out in a high school counsellor's office, finally explaining all the abuse my mother had put me through. I got quite an interesting call today, my mother told me later that day as I came home from school, the chancla in her hand. I prayed under my blanket, hoping Daddy would be home soon, while the monster battered against my bedroom door. "Open this door right fucking now, or Daddy will be very angry with you," the monster slurred. An itsy-bitsy spider climbed up my water spout. The urologist explained that the densely packed layer of eggs and webbing are why I can't pee anymore. When the killer finally caught the woman, some of us cheered and others threw popcorn at the screen. Let's see what other CCTV feeds are showing.
Oh.
When I ascended to the afterlife, I was given a list of names of people I'd spent the most time with. Why don't I recognise these names? I couldn't remember if the DP on the customer's order stood for Diet Pepsi or Dr. Pepper. It didn't seem like such a big deal until I saw her sweating and measuring her insulin shot. Whenever my husband is getting on my nerves, I leave the room and bang on the walls a while. His flashbacks make him go quiet, and he leaves me alone for the rest of the day.
That one made me drop my earphone.
As someone who had lost years to nicotine addiction, I thought I was doing the kid a favour by taking his vape and smashing it on the floor in front of him. Only after a series of wheezing and gasping, followed by his face turning purple, did I realise how out of touch with modern devices I was.
You crushed his inhaler, didn't you?
I handed my daughter her Happy Meal and said, "Don't worry about it, you'll be fine." A couple of hours later, her surgeon had come out to inform me that my child had passed away after asphyxiating on her own vomit during surgery.
What did she eat from McDonald's?
1,000 young people in perfect health were given the option to gain 100,000 for 1 year off their lives. We knew something was terribly wrong when all 995 who agreed instantly died upon accepting the exchange.
That's crazy.
Before she passed away, my great aunt always said to call her whenever I need help, and she would rush to help me. I accidentally butt dialed her old number in the car. I was met a few hours later with the deceased body of my abusive husband in the home and a bloody walking stick near it.
Damn.
"Look, mummy, I did surgery on Teddy," my 5-year-old exclaimed proudly, scissors and kitchen knife in her hands. As the police and paramedics came, I was still hunched over Theodore's body, crying. I immediately stopped stalking the woman I've had a crush on for the past 6 months, when I discovered dozens of pictures of me sleeping hanging in her closet.
She was stalking you,
My
boy.
therapist pointed out I blink rapidly during our sessions. I guess she doesn't know Morse code.
He's in trouble.
When we found our neighbour Ken was a convicted child molester, we went over our rules with our son, including lock the doors and don't talk to Ken when we aren't home. When I finally got through all the emergency vehicles in my neighbourhood, the fire chief told me Ken had screamed and pleaded for my son to come out of the burning house. I was beating the enemy in combat to a bloody pulp, but when I saw my daughter's beaten face and the sound of my wife crying, I was brought back to the sounds of fireworks. They didn't understand how she died, as she had been bitten several times before and was immune to the virus. When they did the autopsy, her writhing, mangled inside revealed that while she was immune, the fetus wasn't. Tonight my smile was genuine when I greeted the customers coming 3 minutes before closing time. As they shopped, I locked the door and called over the PA to my co-workers that the hunt was about to begin. I clicked a button that takes 1 year off my life, but I get 100 grand. I've clicked the button 7,853 times.
A year more.
Stop
bro.
touching me, said the girl with anger, and scooched over to her left. The guy sitting 2 rows ahead looked back with confusion towards the blind girl, who was the only person in the passenger coach. After slipping the pills into her drinks, all I had to do was wait so I could finally get what I wanted. I shook up her formula bottle and handed it to her, knowing it would only be a matter of minutes till I could get some much needed sleep. When the bus door opened, I watched as the kids piled out onto the sidewalk, but Sophie was nowhere to be seen. Lucky bastard's parents must have picked her up early. Red is hot and blue cold, I taught my toddler. Daddy, look, our kitchen makes cold fire. I decided to prank my vegan friend by sneaking ground beef into her food. She deserves it if she thinks she can get away with pretending to have a meat allergy ever since she got back from that camping trip. His wife had given him a bracelet with his initials on it for his birthday. DNR on the bracelet was the first thing the medics saw as the paramedics slowed his heart to an inevitable stop. Sweetie, you bleed down there every month, so it's okay, the mother said, trying to calm down her crying daughter. Besides, would you rather have the whole town find out you're a whore? The mother continued as she held on to the bloodied hanger. When I discovered my daughter had an OnlyFans, I made her delete it, like any dad should. We can't have 2 accounts with the same content, can we? Never acknowledge a stranger in the cemetery, my nana always warned, because if it's a spirit, you don't want them to know that you can see them. If only I remembered her words before greeting the old man at her grave, whose outline now appears in the corner every time I turn off the lights. Thank you all for listening. If you made it this far, be sure to check out any one of the 9 other episodes of 52 Sentence Horror Stories on screen now. And with that said, I hope I catch you all in the next one. Thank you.
Nope. That's it for that one. Oh, that was, bruh. One of the ones that got me was the one that just said when the dad told his daughter to delete the OnlyFans. Tell me something, we can't have the same content. Bro, you put like, how you got your daughter, like, what you doing with your daughter, business posting on OnlyFans, cuz, what you got going on? But the one that got me the most was when they was talking about when they went to the afterlife and they showed them like the most amount of time they spent with somebody, and they said the names that they saw they didn't even recognize. Bro, that made me drop my earphone, cause that basically meant that they was spending time. The people was in their house the whole time, and they didn't even know. And they was in the house with them the whole time, so they was spending the most time with them, and they never know they was there. Bro, that's tough. That's crazy. Like, could you imagine that you in the house, where you think you by yourself, and somebody in your house, and you ain't even know. You ain't even know the whole time. Bro, that's crazy. But whether that be me, I'm jumping out the window, or I'm hitting the door. I'm fast. I'm gone. I don't live no more. You can have everything because I don't want it. Nah. But yeah, that's it for this one. This is it for the first episode of our little horror video, like a horror weekly, monthly thing going on. I don't know. I don't find a name. But go ahead and like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. Turn on post notifications so y'all be notified when I post. Yeah, feel me? And let me know down in the comments what y'all want to see next. And as always, I'm gonna see y'all next time. Peace.